Herzlich willkommen bei Now German, Lektion 72, Lesson 72. Hallo Sie.
Hi everyone. Hello, Gregor.
Sie, wo arbeitest du?
Ich arbeite als Data Analystin.
That is exactly not how you answered this because I asked, where do you work? And you answered what you are doing. But it's good that this happened because that kind of thing is exactly what we'll clear up in today's lesson and in today's grammar point. And before we talk about that, let's look at our dialogue first.
Guten Tag, ich heiße Nora Baker.
Nuria Becker.
Nuria Baker.
Guten Tag, ich bin David Wolf. Was sind Sie von Beruf, Frau Becker?
Ich arbeite als Ingenieur bei Siemens. Und Sie, Herr Wolf?
This one we say ingénieur is like a French word, ingénieur.
Ingenieur.
Oh, interessant. Ich arbeite als Architekt bei Superbuild. Was macht Ihr Mann?
Mein Mann arbeitet als Hausmeister bei Nova Build. Und was arbeitet Ihre Frau?
Sie ist auch Architekt. Wir sind beide Architekten. All right, let's look at the vocab. We don't have that much, but first we have von,
Von.
which is as or from. And then another word that also means as is als.
Als.
Yes, and we'll see als more when we look at today's grammar. And then the career or job description words are der Ingenieur.
Der Ingenieur.
Yes, and bei.
Bei.
That is at. We'll also see it in the grammar. And der Architekt.
Der Architekt.
Which is, of course, the architect. And in plural, this is die Architekten.
Die Architekten.
Exactly. And the last job is der Hausmeister.
Der Hausmeister.
This is a janitor. And last word is beide.
Beide.
This is both. And you see, if you compare this lesson with the last lesson we used feminine terms for the females in the dialogue. This dialogue basically shows the other option where you just use the male career terms and use it as a generic masculine and apply them to the females as well, which makes them a bit shorter and simpler. But still, you could make these words feminine specific as well. Do you know what would be der Ingenieur in a feminine specific way?
Die Ingenieurin.
Exactly. Die Ingenieurin. You just add en. How about der Architekt?
Die Architektin.
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 Yes. And lastly, der Hausmeister?
Die Hausmeister? Hausmeister. No?
Hausmeisterin.
Hausmeisterin, okay.
Yes. Meister, that just means master. So Meister is not related to a masculine something. Of course, it is masculine in the generic sense, but it has no meaning like man or brother or something. That's why we can just make Meisterin out of that. Okay. Any other questions so far?
What is janitor?
A janitor, that's someone who basically takes care of the house, of the building. Like if the toilet is broken or like the heating doesn't work, that's the person who might take care of that. I think there are different words for that in English, but janitor is the most classical one.
Like a handyman.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a handyman as well. All right. Then before we look at the grammar, let's look at the dialogue one more time.
Guten Tag, ich heiße Nora Baker.
Nuria Becker.
Nuria Baker.
Guten Tag, ich bin David Wolf. Was sind Sie von Beruf, Frau Becker?
Ich arbeite als Ingenieur bei Siemens. Und Sie, Herr Wolf?
Ingenieur.
Ingenieur.
Oh, interessant. Ich arbeite als Architekt bei Superbuild. Was macht Ihr Mann?
Mein Mann arbeitet als Hausmeister bei Nova Build. Und was arbeitet Ihre Frau?
Sie ist auch Architekt. Wir sind beide Architekten. All right, and so let's look at these prepositions als and by. So if I want to say I work as an engineer, I'll say ich arbeite als Ingenieur. Do you know how I could say I work as a doctor?
Ich arbeite als Arzt.
Exactly. How about I work as a data analyst?
Ich arbeite als Data Analyst.
That's right. Exactly. And then let's look at the second one, by. For example, ich arbeite bei Siemens. And here you put the company, not the job. So for example, how could I say I work at UBS?
Ich arbeite bei UBS.
Yeah, so this actually, we pronounce it with German letters. It's a bit a memorization game, so which abbreviations you have to pronounce English and which German. This one is UBS.
UBS.
Yes. By the way, that's the biggest Swiss bank, in case you don't know what is UBS. It stands for United Banks of Switzerland. Okay, another one. I work at Deutsche Bahn.
Ich arbeite bei Deutsche Bahn.
Yes. And maybe last one. I work at Airbus.
Ich arbeite bei Airbus.
Exactly. And now we can combine these two. For example, I work as an engineer at Siemens is ich arbeite als Ingenieur bei Siemens. Now let's say I work as a data analyst at UBS. How could you say that?
Ich arbeite als Data Analyst bei UBS.
Exactly. Or ich arbeite als Arzt bei Novartis. Actually, I just said it in German. Let me give you another one in English. I work as a janitor at NovaBuild.
Ich arbeite als Hausmeister bei Nova Build.
Yes. All right. Any questions about these two prepositions and how to use them?
Well, these prepositions change based on the gender of the noun, or is just always the same case?
They don't change. And as you saw, we don't need any articles like der, die, das, eine, ein. So we just leave that. So for example, if we have feminine job, Ärztin, it just stays the same. Ich arbeite als Ärztin bei Novartis.
Okay.
And what you can do though is you can change the order. You can say bei and then als afterwards. So you can say ich arbeite bei Novartis als Ärztin. That's fine. All right. Any other questions?
No.
Then let's look at the dialogue one more time.
Guten Tag, ich heiße Novia Becker.
Guten Tag, ich bin David Wolf. Was sind Sie von Beruf, Frau Becker?
Ich arbeite als Ingenieur bei Siemens. Und Sie, Herr Wolf?
Ingenieur.
Ingenieur.
Oh, interessant. Ich arbeite als Architekt bei Superbuild. Was macht Ihr Mann?
Mein Mann arbeitet als Hausmeister bei Nova Boat. Und was arbeitet Ihre Frau?
Sie ist auch Architekt. Wir sind beide Architekten. Okay. Sie, was machst du von Beruf?
Ich arbeite als Data Analyst.
Okay. If you want to say a certain company, let's say company X, how could you say I work as a data analyst at company X?
Ich arbeite als Data Analyst bei X.
Exactly. All right. Now you know how to talk about jobs, what you're doing and where you're doing it. And we'll look at more career-related topics in upcoming lessons as well. So we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Tschüss.